welcome to another episode of the Pesky Podcast. I'm your host of it. With me, like always, is Mr. Rob Anglin, our newly pissed off, I had to get him fired up, Tommy TJ Bennett, our master statistician. We've got our video producer, Robbie T, in the house, sitting in tonight. Spring has sprung. Spring training baseball is back. We are brought to you by the Boston Sports Entertainment Network, and we are partnered with, at least for the next couple weeks, trustedjerseysupplier.com.co. Type in the letters BSEN in the comments to get yourself a free gift. That is trustedjerseysupplier.com.co. Type in BSEN in the comments to get a free gift. I know we went buck wild over at trustedjerseysupplier.com. I got me a Roman Anthony white Team USA jersey. Rob, what jerseys did you pick up?
I got me a Navy Team USA Roman Anthony, and I got me a Navy Team USA, or actually a white Team USA Bryce Harper.
Please don't sit there and say I messed up the order. Tommy, what about you, man?
I know I put it. I can't. Did I do I did the Navy, right? The
Navy
Roman. Yeah.
Yes.
I think I did that because I originally, courtesy of eBay, got a Skeens one, in white. So figured just have both. But dude, life's good. I mean, USA on the same day that the 1980 team beat Russia, USA wins the gold for the first time since 1980. Courtesy of my boy Jack Hughes. Good day to start. College baseball is rolling. If you're not watching college baseball, it's pure cinema right now between Roach Cholowski and Justin LeBron. Highly recommend tuning in to those two players. They are, if you're the White Sox, you're just licking your lips to figure out who you're going to select. But man, it's good. It's good. It's a good week. Spring training is in the air. We have a lot to talk about, and we have Robbie T here, and I like when Robbie T's on. I genuinely like when he's joining us, and I like his insight, so I'm excited to get things rocking and rolling.
Yeah, Robbie T, what jerseys did you end up getting?
Yeah, we went with both of them are green. We went with the Trevor Story and David Ortiz. So I don't think David Ortiz is going to have too many hits for the Red Sox this season. Hopefully Trevor Story does, but we'll see. But I'm happy with the jerseys. Springtime's here, but snowing again, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm looking forward to 2 feet of snow.
Yeah,
you guys stay safe up there.
Our guy Nick, our one of our writers, he was on his way home today, got delayed. I don't know if he left the airport, but because I know his flight was delayed. But dude, spring training is here. 3 games in, 2 if you want to not count the first game. But what are your thoughts? Give me one person that stood out to you so far this spring training. Let's start with you, Rob.
Honestly, I'm going to say it. I've been a big truther of him since last season. Nate Eden's looked really good at the plate. He's been aggressive at the plate. Today, a huge game, 2 doubles, looked really solid. And I think he's going to crack the opening day roster. I said it on Twitter. I think he's one of those guys who's going to be a valuable asset to this team. He also obviously has good speed. He's going to be like one of those guys that's just going to replace Rob Refsnyder, I think. He's going to be that guy who just is that bench role, hits lefties very well, but he is also a guy who can come off the bench. He's going to be like a David Hamilton kind of too, come off the bench, pinch run kind of action too. So I think I like what I see from Nate Eden. And then also Jaron Duran, very good game today. 2 doubles. It looks like he's locking back in. And if we can get 2024 Duran, I think we're going to be in for a good year.
Yeah, I think Cora said after the game, he liked his swing today. Like, he's pulling the ball much better. Yeah, I think Duran's in for a really big offensive year. I mean, that's why you can't trade him. Like, you couldn't. Like, he's too important to this offense.
That's why I said throughout the offseason, unless you were going to trade him unless you were going to sign somebody before you traded him to replace his productivity, you can't trade Jaron Duran. And I want to sit there and say this now and get ahead of it. If he does go off the first half of the season, then you sit there and try to trade him, get a big piece because it ups his value tremendously. You know, for everything. But what you do is you don't trade him to Kansas City. No, he wasn't good enough for you then. He's not good enough for you now. You know, don't sit there and try to trade him over to Arizona, you know, or anything like that. Try to get a good piece that we end up needing. Tommy, who was your guy so far this spring that really stood out for you so far? And it could be good or bad.
I mean, I haven't really noticed like a ton of bad per se. I mean, you could be really nitpicky because like so many pitchers go through, and it's like if they don't have like one good inning, it's like, okay, well, that wasn't great. But for me, I mean, I have two. I think Christian Campbell, for the most part, has looked good. I'm impressed with his swing. Obviously, it was against a college team, so it's, you know, you're not going to put a ton of, you know, stock into that. But I like what I saw. He's made mechanical changes at the plate, lowering his hands, more square in the box. Should be fun to see what kind of spring he has. And I think he's going to get a very large look because a lot of these guys are leaving for the WBC. So it's like, you know, when they're constructing a lineup, it's like, you know, you're going to get a lot of those reps because, you know, you'll be in spring. And he's doing work on the infield. Oh, Bradley's here. I love Bradley. But yeah, I think Campbell's going to get a really nice look in the outfield, doing infield work too. So we'll see what happens. I'm also going to say Mikey Romero. I think Mikey Romero's look good. Obviously, he's going to probably start in AAA, but that's a guy that you could see, depending on injuries, could make a nice, sizable impact for the Red Sox at some point in 2026. And yes, Bradley, he did look solid today.
Yes. So thanks, Bradley, for the comment. Keep them coming. Robbie T, what about you, my man?
I mean, going third here, I mean, you guys talked a lot about what guys I wanted to talk about. I was going to talk about Eaton, but as soon as you asked that question, I knew Rob was going to bring up Eaton. He was tweeting all about him today. I'm like, yep, Eaton's been a guy. Christian Campbell, I think, just the way he looks at the plate, just the way he physically looks, he looks a lot more confident with the plate, the way he's swinging the bat. Like, I would like to see him on this roster. I'm not sure exactly where, outfield, second base, but I think he looks a lot more comfortable up there. Another guy I'd look at, Braden Ward. They got him from the Rockies for the Brennan Bernardino trade. You can just call him Mr. February at this point. Watching him on the base paths, I mean, he is fast. He can hit. I mean, he had good AAA stats last year, solid AAA stats. So we have kind of a log jam at the outfield, as you may know. So I'm not sure where he's going to be. I don't even think he's on the 40 right now, but some good depth there in AAA. And then one thing I can say about this team right now, this team was down every single game and came back and won. I mean, I know we're not talking October, but we're talking February. So I'm feeling pretty good about these February grapefruit Sox right now.
Hey, I can honestly say I was ecstatic when we won a one-run game. like we don't see that too often last year. That was absolutely crazy. Of course, I want to sit there and bring up KC, the big red machine. He looked really good. A lot of confidence coming through. His hands is the key to everything with his new swing, in my opinion. Plus, he also looks a little bulkier, put a little muscle on, which is absolutely amazing. But another guy I want to bring up, and that is the Durbinator. He looked really good today. And, of course, he, was getting reps second, AC, and we're going to be going segueing right into this. He's really close to making his decision on where the final two infield spots, but I've got to say the way the Durbinator looked today, it looked like he was sent from the future to help the Red Sox bring a World Series championship to this team.
Knock on wood.
That's ballsy.
He did look really good today. He had a lot of like solid contact, hit the ball very hard. And that play at third base where he played it off the bag at 5'6", and you're jumping like that to get it. I know the throw was offline, but that's still a hell of an effort just to get that ball.
He looked like a big boy at third base on that play.
Mhm.
The hops he had. I mean, he looked like a guy that's like 6'2" at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Bradley's got another great. The fact that Durbin rarely strikes out makes me hope that he spreads that virus around the clubhouse.
Yeah.
So
Some hitting coaching like JD Martinez used to do back in the day. Right?
Durbin's a solid guy.
I personally cannot wait until our man Bart is finished with his last T-shirt design so we can do the drop. The Durbinator is the last T-shirt that he's getting ready to design before our first drop. I can't wait. So, but let's sit there and go right into this. Let's start with you, Tommy. Marcelo, AC's saying he had to earn a spot on the roster, which throws a lot of questions of if he has to earn a spot, why didn't we trade him for Marte? But then he's playing second, Durbin's playing third, then they flip-flopped them and such. What are your thoughts on the whole situation?
I get it. Like in a sense, like in a vacuum, I get it. It's like, all right, like we're not just gonna hand you a spot. But also, it's like if the idea is to platoon him, that's also interesting, which I get. Like you want to see more production just in general. I mean, look at Wilyer Abreu, who's platooned for how many seasons now, and he's finally going to kind of break out of the shell. So, I mean, you could see that with Meyer, but it's like that's they pretty much came out and were like, all right, pick Tolier early. And they're like, well, we can't give you Meyer. It's like, okay, okay. That's great, but I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy because then who plays second base? Like who plays second base? Because Durbin is better at third base. Like Durbin's my third baseman. Like that is the guy. Like I think even though they're gonna try the flip flop, Caleb Durbin's your second baseman, or third baseman. Caleb Durbin was a very good third baseman last year. He fundamentally does everything well. And he plays the position really well. I don't really care about his height. Like that's a guy that gives maximum effort, moves well laterally. Like he can make the plays over there at the hot corner. It is what it is. I'm just curious what they do at second base. Like what are we gonna do? Have IKF? Like is that the plan? I mean, I understand. Like you sign the guy, but it's like that's what is that what we're gonna do? I mean, I guess. I mean, I guess.
And then you look at it, it's like, okay, if Marcelo doesn't have a great spring, do you start him in AAA? You know, if was it Monasterio?
Mm-hmm.
That's another guy. Like he could easily. He has good splits.
You have to go with the hot bat coming out of spring. Robbie T, what about you?
Yeah, just thinking like if they were to platoon Mayer at second base with IKF, I wonder if that's more of like a cautionary kind of. We're not sure if he's ready for a full season injury wise, which I'm not like anti-Mayer. Like I want Mayer to play, but like everyone thinks that he's injury prone, so maybe you kind of ease him in. I'd like to see him start majority of the games at second base. This kind of reminds me a little bit maybe like Steven Drew, Xander Bogaerts kind of thing. You get a guy that's a good defender, you bring him in, kind of blocking that young guy that could be a stud. But I don't know. I think Mayer should be at second base. I wouldn't mind if he platoons, but I do not think he should be in AAA unless defensively you think he's not cut out for second base just yet.
I don't think it's the defense. I think Cora alluded to the offense. Like basically just wants to see his bat progress. And I think the idea was you're going to platoon anyway. Mm-hmm. And obviously it was with Romy. So now it's like, all right, well now what? Like who comes in? Yeah. That's why I think Monasterio can kind of fill the void of like Romy because he mashes lefties really well. I mean, he had a 273 average with the 837 OPS this year and a 136 WRC plus. Between him and Romy, they hit righties about the same, but it's the lefties, and it's like you'll take that. Like you'll kind of ride with that. I mean, and Monasterio can pull the ball, pulled it really well this year, like a career high, and he pulled it in the air a career high. So him being a righty, yeah, I think the Green Monster would obviously serve him well. That's where it gets interesting. I mean, what if Christian Campbell has a strong break and then but what if he has a really strong spring? And what if the infield work that he's getting, he develops there? Because it seems like the Red Sox have a plan with him. It's you're going to work with the outfield in the group, and then you're going to be in the infield, and you're going to do work separately, just individual work, just to hone in your skills. If he can develop at second base and he's a legit bat making these mechanical changes, you just solved your second base problem.
Where does Marcelo go at that point then?
I think it really boils down to it's like, and I know Trevor Story's Rob's guy.
Mm-hmm.
He only has a few years left, and eventually he's coming off shortstop, and that's Meyer's spot. They've deemed that to be Meyer's spot, even when Xander was here. Like, that's the guy. He's going to be the savior of the franchise. I think it's his bat, and if Meyer can get his bat going, that's where I think things take a turn. But I would not hate the idea of Christian Campbell at second base if he has a really strong spring, because I think he is going to get a really hard look in general, because a lot of these guys are going to the WBC.
Yeah. Before we jump to Rob, let's jump in here with Bradley. It's kind of like our fifth host. Casey and Meyer are both still prospects, in my opinion. Either one of them can be in AAA or platoon if their offense comes until their offense comes around.
1,000%. He's definitely he's right. He's right.
It just doesn't seem like the sexy move, which I want to see the sexy move. I want to see these guys coming up and playing. But yeah,
me personally, sex appeal only works, so much. I want wins. If we're out, if I kill franchises, is out there playing second base.
I have a question for this entire group. When you're done, Rob, I have a question for this whole group.
If you want wins and sex appeal, you put Marcelo Meyer at second base on opening day. All I'm going to say is the ladies will fill the seats. Roman Anthony, Jaron Duran, and Marcelo Meyer, the big three of the heartthrobs of the ladies in Boston. But if we're talking about the game itself, I like Marcelo Meyer's glove, and I think having Story and Marcelo Meyer up the middle is very good defensively for your team, and it does help them out a little bit better. Durbin, like we were saying earlier, not the best offensively at second base last season, but at third base, he's spectacular. And I've seen so far in the amount of that he's played in spring training so far, he's looked good over at the third base bag. And I think having him over at third would be very helpful, because you got good defense up the middle, and that really helps your pitchers out as well. I think just Meyer, just like you were saying, it's just like his development at the plate. It seems like it's one of those things where Willie Abreu, like we were saying, he was platooning against lefties for so many years. Now he's finally getting a full-time, you're facing lefties and righties. And I'm excited to see how he handles that in the WBC, because that's obviously going to be big for him playing for Team Venezuela. But looking at it, Meyer is going to get a lot of reps this spring. It's going to be a lot of people, half the teams going to the WBC. So there's going to be a lot of those young guys getting starts. Obviously, you're going to see, like we were saying about Christian Campbell, you're going to see him a lot during spring training, because half the Sadon's not going, Duran's going to the WBC, Roman's going, so most of your outfield's basically gone. Well, your whole outfield's going to the WBC, so that's going to see a lot of time for young guys to get opportunities. So one thing you got to look at that as well is I think Meyer's just going to get a little bit more reps. I think facing lefties will help him out. If he can wake that bat up a little bit and be more consistent at the plate, again, with the history injury is a little concerning, but I do like him over at second base. And I think it helps your team out better defensively, just having two very, very solid defenders up the middle there.
Yeah, because he struggled against breaking pitches and off speed. It was pretty putrid. So if you looked at today's lineup, about 80% of it is what you'll see opening day. How do you feel about that lineup opening? Because that's basically the lineup. It's pretty much minus a guy or two, if anything, but that's pretty much your lineup. And I even think in order, that's your lineup. It's going to be Roman, it's going to be Story, then it's going to be Duran, then Contreras, then Abreu, and then you fill everything out. How do you feel about that opening day? Because that's probably as close to the lineup as you're going to get.
looking at it, because I took a picture of it and I tweeted it out, it's like, this lineup's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I kind of enjoy this lineup. And you got to look at it, too. You're still missing pieces. You still have pieces on the bench that you can work with, too. You'll have Yoshida. Later down the line, you'll have Tristan Casas available to pinch hit. Your bench is going to be very deep. The only thing is, maybe, I like Abreu hitting after Contreras. I think having that power, because apparently the Boston Red Sox don't have power on this team. But there's guys, like they were saying on the broadcast, who've numerous times have hit at least 20 homers in their career. I do like it at the top with Duran, Story, and Roman, just because Roman's such an elite hitter and you need that spark plug. We've seen it years before. Like I heard Lou saying it on the broadcast, and I agree with it. You've seen years like where you had Mookie Betts at the top of the lineup in 2024 with Jarren Duran in the top of the lineup, guys who could set the tone, have good at-bats. And I think Roman's one of those guys who sets the tone. And then you got Story coming off of a very solid year, his best year in Boston. Duran obviously was when your leadoff hitter at one time, but still in the middle of the lineup, a little bit of speed, a little bit of pop in there. I do like this lineup, and I think like on opening day, and that's like you're 75 to 80% sure that's going to be your opening day lineup. You might see a couple tweaks, maybe at second or third base, like IKF or Durbin. You might see Meyer slot in there, but honestly, I don't mind it. I think the only thing I would tweak is maybe Cedon looked good in that 7th spot, but I would probably put him at the bottom just so you can have like a second leadoff hitter. Him go right after Roman would be pretty good. But honestly, this lineup, I don't hate it. And then obviously, like I said, still got guys coming back at the middle of the year that will improve your bench as well.
Yeah.
Robbie, you want to go next?
Yeah, for me, I mean, looking at this lineup, as soon as I saw it, I laughed. I'm like, okay, we're just going for it now. I think the other day they might have had like 4-ish starters in the lineup, but I mean, just looking at this lineup up and down, I mean, top of the lineup, you love it. I think the biggest thing is you need Trevor Story to kind of be the Trevor Story that he was last year, the way he heated up. I think that's going to be key. Jarren Duran's going to be hitting the. I mean, if he's in the ball like today, it's going to be huge. But that need of the lineup, Contreras, Abreu, and even Durbin, I love those three back to back to back.
Yeah.
Like again, as long as there's no injuries, this is a very good lineup, I think, compared to what they have at the pitching staff. I mean, we won't talk. I mean, we'll talk about Bayo's start, but you know, who looks into just one start for these guys anyway? Especially when he's mixing up the grip or whatever he's doing for the curveball. No issues whatsoever. But looking at this lineup, I feel very confident. Even Carlos Narvaez, I mean, he's going to be a good player you have right now in the 8-hole. Like IKF, sure, or whoever you throw in there, fine, whatever. But I like that idea of having Cedon as that second leadoff hitter. Him batting and then Roman Anthony going right after him, that's going to be nice down the line.
Okay.
Somebody doesn't like it.
Uh-oh.
This is how I would set up the lineup, and Red Sox Nation might sit there and hate me for it, but I would still have Jarren Duran lead off. No,
okay.
See, I'm setting the lineup up, Jarren Duran leading off, because when he does get on, you don't know if it's going to be a single, a double, or triple because he's that quick. Okay? Then in the 2 spot, I would put Durbin because say he is on second or third, he doesn't strike out like our man Bradley says. So it's more pitches, you're racking it up. He might get a walk. Then he puts him on first. Then Roman, who knows the strike zone very well, which also with Roman being third gives a little support to Contreras batting cleanup because we already know he's batting cleanup.
Yeah, that's a lock.
You know, AC already said that. So then Contreras, Abreu, Story. But like, just like Bradley says, who hates seeing Roman batting third for the rest of his career?
I don't hate it, but I know AC already said too. I think he said it's the only 2 people in that lineup are solidified. He said Roman's going to lead off and then Contreras in the cleanup. Everything else, I don't know. But I mean, you could see it too. Like, let's say Roman doesn't have a great start. Maybe you switch things up. Maybe you put Roman in the 3 spot and you move Duran back to the leadoff spot. You could tweak the lineup around throughout the year and see where if things feel comfortable. I agree. I think Roman's perfect in like a 3 spot or even like a 4-5 spot, like in the middle of the lineup because his bat and his plate discipline is just amazing.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think even right now with this lineup, I mean, you have blazing speed Trevor Story, you know, he can steal base. He won't be in Jarren Duran's way at all, I don't think.
I don't I don't hate it, but I like Roman at third. Like, you know, a little bit better. It gets him a little bit less plate appearances, but I think if you want to sit there and jumpstart a game, why not sit there and go Duran, you know, Durbin, and Roman Anthony, you know, and Contreras, because then you're looking at Contreras, Story, Abreu, right after him. Like, I don't know. That's just the way I would look at it.
Even when these guys go to the WBC, I mean, these lineups can be fun to look at. I mean, Cora's gonna have a good time just getting. I think Bradley even put in here. They have so much depth they have, like especially at outfield, and you know, mix guys in. This is gonna be a really fun team to watch, even when everyone's gone.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Tommy?
So I like the. Yeah, Rob, do you have the I want to find the graphic just so I can reference it. Do you
that's
have
what
it?
I was let me send it to you.
I got it. No, I got it up. I'll put it up right now.
Do you want me to? Oh, perfect.
Yeah, put it up. Put it up if you put it up for reference. If you
also
don't
shout out to the boy. I've been making these graphics. If you guys like them, let me know. I mean, I've been cooking. I've been wanting to grow it out a little bit. Oh. All right.
There we go.
So I like the Contreras, Williard, Durbin thing. I'm kind of with Bradley. It's like you can have Duran at his speed hit first where he's shown he can do it. Everything that for Story, I don't mind it, but my God, it can't be first half Trevor Story. It can't be that 27.9% strikeout rate. Historically bad month of May, Trevor Story. Like, that's where things can hinge because, like, you start getting on base in that, like, first top of the order. And then, like, if you put Roman at third, yeah, you're just protected with nothing but Contreras and then power with Abreu and then a guy like Durbin who can just kind of, you know, get on base whether he gets hit by a pitch or doesn't strike out or makes some solid contact. Rafael is a notorious slow starter. So I would pretty much put him ninth. But if you got IKF, you could basically keep him at 7 because, like, what are you going to do? I mean, but you can honestly – you don't want to waste, like, the 7th hole with, like, Rafael, who's a better bat. At least if he's hitting 9th, it's like, all right, he gets on. Like, we got top of the order coming. Like, we're good. But yeah, Rafael. I looked at like his monthly things, like for his career. He starts slow and then heats up in like June, July. So, but I mean, overall, I mean, I actually like this lineup. I've always said this lineup has nothing but potential, and it's the if factor. Like, that's really what it boils down to. Like,
there's no automatic outs looking at this lineup. Like, I feel comfortable even with IKF in there. I mean, like,
oh no, Ceddanne Rafael, with the way he chases, he is I'm sorry, Rafael enjoyer, but that is sometimes an automatic out. Connor Wong is almost an automatic out with runners in scoring position. If it's like before the 7th inning, you could say Rafaela might be an automatic out sometimes because that guy is just the true definition of clutch. But you know, this lineup is deeper than what the experts probably want to give it credit. I think a lot of the negativity around this team is just they didn't get that big bopper. They didn't get the Alonso, the Schwarber. Mm-hmm. But they'll have guys that you can expect at least 4 guys to hit 20 this year, and that's like at the minimum. Like Willier, if he was healthy, he probably would have hit 30 last year if he was healthy. He hit 22 and he missed time. Like, yeah. But yep, Bradley, spot on, brother. When Rafael controls the zone, he hits like a monster. When he's chasing outside the zone and basically looking like Javier Baez, yeah, he's basically just an automatic out. And he did that plenty last year where he looked good and he made the right adjustments in his swing, and then he went back to his old ways after the break. And then it was just like dude, I get you had like the biggest
Mhm.
hit of the year, but Jesus Christ, man. Like,
I'd say his
Well,
biggest player comp is like I always say, like Jack. It's like watching a Jackie Bradley Jr. reincarnated, except for 2016, because JBJ would always like have some terrible play discipline too. But that's why you have him in the lineup, because of his glove. I mean, that glove is irreplaceable.
oh yeah, you're. I mean, yeah, you're just that defense has enough value that it's like, all right, bud, like you're good, like you're fine, like you'll be all right. You know, you can survive, you can stay in here. But yeah, I think I'm trying to pull something up. You guys keep going. I'm
I
looking
think
at
he
his.
has I think he has a higher ceiling than Jackie Bradley junior I
Mhm.
love Jackie Bradley Jr., one of my favorite Red Sox all time. But I do think looking at him in center field, if he could just work, like if he could be anything like early July, late June, early July, Cedar Rafaela, then you're talking about one of the best players, probably, and most exciting players in Major League Baseball. Just a kid who can hit for power, got good speed. He works good at bats, and he's a streaky hitter. Like we said, not great at the beginning of the season, but when he gets on a heater, he gets on a heater. If he can be like that and become a consistent hitter, Cedar Rafaela is one of the better players in Major League Baseball. I'm shocked. I know we're talking about like the shredder and stuff, how it sucks, but I am very, very shocked that he was not on the top 10 list of center fielders.
Oh, did you
Yeah.
see Kevin Kiermaier's list? He didn't even put Sedon like in his top 5. I'm like, brother, what? You're like the defensive wizard. I'm like, what are you
And you
watching?
Put him. I know.
But no, like
Yeah.
so, like a few things. I'm just, and then we'll like move on. But like he raised his walk rate. He cut down his strikeout rate. He actually cut down his out of zone swing percentage by 4%, which is huge. You know, the hard hit rate did go up, which is nice. I don't know about his bat speed. But he did improve in like a bunch of different ways, which is really good. Like that's what you kind of want to see. So let's just see if like you can get another year, because he's like the if factor too in potential.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he pops off and becomes just like a stable league average bat or slightly above it, like that's a very good, useful all around player.
Yeah. Yeah. And looking at the lineup overall, just from what AC said, Trevor Story is shortstop. Wilson Contreras is first base. Wilyer Abreu is getting all the he's the right fielder against righties and lefties. Cedar Rafaela is your center fielder. Carlos Narvaez is your catcher. That is 5 of the 9 positions that we know right now that are everyday players.
Roman and Duran are just going to interchange, though. Like I think that's like technically you can solidify that if you really want to.
But you can't, because you got Yoshida.
He's just phantom IL, man.
He looks fast. Are you kidding me? Come on.
I feel like the funny thing is I hope they don't get in trouble for doing that. Like I feel like they're gonna have a crackdown on that. I think eventually, like abuse of the Phantom IL. It's a matter of time. I think
the thing of it is, there was a couple articles out there that people were saying, "Where's it at? I'm missing us. Where are we at?
Oh,
there we are. There we are. Boom." But that there were people interested for Yoshida, but they want to see his spring.
Well, that makes. I guess that makes sense.
I think I've heard. Yeah, that's a.
So
you're right.
Well, they're gonna have to watch spring. They're gonna have to watch the World Baseball Classic.
So if we could possibly, if he goes off like in the WBC, that would be a great way to get your left-handed bullpen option that, you're crying that you need now.
It sucks when you trade them all away. You trade your big death there.
He's gonna play the outfield too.
Yeah. Bernardino's gone.
Chris Murphy's gone.
Matz is gone. Like you're looking at all these left-handed options that you either traded or didn't re-sign. Justin Wilson, like now here you are. The spring started, and we're still looking for a left-handed bullpen. Well, what did you trade, or what did you get in return for the left-handed bullpen options that you traded? You
Didn't
know,
get none, but I do like. I'm not gonna lie. I did like what I saw from Giovanni Moran today. He looked pretty solid. So if he could have a pretty good spring, I could see him being like one of those guys that gets tossed into that bullpen into that role.
yeah. So it's just funny and ironic how, you know, the one piece that we're still looking for, kind of we had it in our system the whole time.
Unless you move Patrick Sandoval to the bullpen. It's a lot of money for like that, but you're paying Jordan Hicks that. So
Hey,
that's
that's the number 5 starter, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say you're paying him more than you're paying your closer then.
Danny Colomb, Chafin is still out there.
Bring Colomb here.
I'm surprised he hasn't gotten a deal. I'm surprised Colomb still hasn't gotten a deal at all.
I'm surprised Lucas Giolito is still available.
I know.
You would think some team would take us. I mean, he had like a
The
very
He had a really good year, and he had a good stretch of games too.
Yeah,
Atlanta
really
needs
stretch.
pitching in the worst way possible.
Why would they not just take a flyer on him? I mean, I guess if you want to like develop your young guys, have him here. But I mean, literally, just give Giolito. I mean,
I'm surprised.
he's asking for
Sorry,
money.
cut
I
you
don't
off.
know. You're good.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Sorry.
You're good,
I'm surprised the Padres took more of a flyer on Walker Buehler, who didn't have a great year, than Lucas Giolito. That would have been a perfect fit in San Diego if you really want to take the risk and get a good arm. Lucas Giolito proved to you last year, hey, I can give you innings and I can pitch competent. Walker Buehler just showed I could shit my pants and just get paid.
He had a great last month, though, didn't he?
I know the last month was good with the Phillies.
Oh,
I
for
can't
the
deny
Phillies,
that.
yeah.
So like that's the thing I'm wondering about, because like Gallen wanted 2 years, and then Gallen basically just took the qualifying offer, and he had a bad year. He ended the year really well, but he had a really bad year. Like Giolito had a good year, but I forget what podcast it was. I can't remember if it was Talking Baseball or if it was the Section 10 guys had somebody on that interviewed, and they're like, if you look analytically, like under the surface, like they'll look into that stuff. Like they'll dive into like some of those things. And Giolito, you could tell there was a little bit of luck in there, but he still had a good overall year. Like he could at least get like a 1-year deal at this point, but it's crazy that he has to settle for a 1-year deal. Like, I can't believe he's actually still out there. There's so many teams that could use him.
I want to look into his stats because there was a stretch I remember where he was really good. I'm going to look at his stats through by month because there was one month where he just went like off the charts, like insane.
He might have like a 1.8 for a month or something like that. Because he down the stretch, I think the second half, what do you have, like a 3-something ERA?
He started the year with like every other start was good or bad. Like it was the most insane thing. But while we're doing that, Rit, do you care if I go into the chat and pull up one of Bradley's questions, since we're kind of just diving on the team?
Oh no, go ahead. I had a quick question though first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did anybody hear of why Joey Ryan got scratched? What is there
his back tightness?
Okay.
The MR, that's all the MRI showed, was just back tightness.
Or he might have been getting traded to the Red Sox at that point. Who knows?
Yeah, I know. That would have been nice.
Oh yeah. I wonder for what.
Masa Yoshida.
But yeah, back tightness. That would have been pretty cool to see him pitch though.
But like we're talking about this lineup, and we're just talking about like where guys can fit in, and Bradley kind of brings like a nice question here to the table. That's a good discussion point. Is, do you remember having a deeper team in the last 10 years? I mean, you go back to the last 10 years, you're looking at maybe 16, but then you look at that 18 team, and obviously that 18 team was
that
Red Sox team that
didn't need to be deep because they all just took over. Like,
but I do agree. Like this is definitely a better, like, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Like, and I'm like, I've been the guy who's like, this team is such assholes for trading Rafael Devers, but this is a better team all around this year than last year. Like, you look at the rotation, you got rid of Giolito, but then you added Suarez and Sonny Gray, which that's better than Giolito, like addition by subtraction. And then, I mean, Bayo, who had a good year, is your 4th starter. Like, that's kind of crazy. Like, you know, and then the bullpen is still, I mean, that was one of the best bullpens in baseball. I think they had the 3rd best ERA in baseball last year. And that wasn't just being carried by Chapman. That was like across the board. But you look at this team, they have Probably across the board. I'm going to go on a unbiased limb and say the best outfield defense. Just like you have 2 Gold Glove talents in Rafael Abreu and then Roman, who showed he can be good at either corner. Duran is better in center than left, so at least he's got good defensive value somewhere. And then I think their infield defense, you got improved infield defense at first base, and you have a good defender at third base. So it's not like losing Alex Bregman sucks. But you did come away with Durbin, who's a good defensive piece, and you got a fringe number 2 starter, number 3 starter, basically in Suarez. I think this team it's a solid unit all around. Like, you can look at it kind of that way. It's when I did my I recorded early for the previews. It's kind of like how I painted the Cubs. The Cubs are a very sound team with not many glaring holes. Like, that lineup is very good top to bottom. Like, there's probably not a single guy in that lineup where you're like, okay, that's a little iffy. Like, that's a pretty good lineup. And then defensively, it's kind of the same way. Their outfield defense it's not as good as the Red Sox, but it's there. And then their infield defense is dynamite. Nico Horner, Dansby Swanson, Alex Bregman, and Michael Busch. Like, that's a very good team. I'm not saying the Red Sox are in that realm, but that's kind of how I see it. It's they have everything all around. And we've watched this team for the last, you just look inside this decade. Yeah, this is probably the best all around team. I would agree that they had in the last 10 years across the board.
Before I kind of answer that question, I found the stats. So he had a really, really good month of June and a really good month of August. I think the month of August is what cost him with his arm, because he pitched at least 11 more innings, but a 2.39 ERA in the month of August and a 3.04 ERA in the month of June. He pitched really, really well, and he only walked 8 batters in the month of June. So he was really, really good with attacking the strike zone. I mean, I agree as well with what he said. I think that I was confident every time that he took the mound, Lucas Giolito, because I was like, at least like at one point I was like, okay, this is a guaranteed winner, at least a win that I feel confident in throwing him out there. I think with this team on paper right now, like you were saying, I think it's a very, very good team. I'm more confident with this team defensively, especially because the last couple of years, Red Sox have been at the bottom of the league,
I want to die,
especially in defense. So it's been pretty atrocious. And I mean, we had to deal with watching Kike Hernandez play a terrible shortstop. Shout out Kike. I still love Kike, but like, he was batted at shortstop that year. And I think the Red Sox now, I feel a little bit, I think having the most pitching depth we've had in years. I mean, this team is loaded with pitching depth, not even just on the major league roster, but in the minor leagues as well. You have a lot of good arms who can shoot through that pipeline. You look at this team on paper and you have a good defense behind them. It's going to not only help you with a lot of those earned runs, because half of those earned runs, you look at it, you got to make your pitchers work from the stretch. You make them work more innings, throw more pitches as well, because you're keeping them in the inning longer. I mean, the defense is just all around a lot better, especially in the infield. That's where you needed to work on the most, because the outfield, you have Willie Abreu and Cedon Rafael out there. You have 2 of the best defensive outfielders in Major League Baseball out there. But I do think on paper right now, without Alex Bregman, you don't have that big name, or Rafael Devers in that lineup. You don't have that big, like, flashy name, even though I think Roman Anthony is going to turn into one of those big names in Major League Baseball too. It seems like they're trying to definitely push him and market him as one of the faces of baseball. But I think on paper right now, I feel more confident with this team. I think this team scratched out a couple more wins than they did than last year.
I look at it as, depth-wise, we're the deepest we've been for I don't know how long in starting pitching. Then, look at the outfield. We've got our 4 outfielders, plus you want to count Yoshida, Nate Eaton, Christian Campbell, all major league options. Then you look at the infield, and we can even go deeper with Mikey Romero. We got was it Brendan Rodgers, who we signed in the offseason to a minor league deal. Nick Sogard, Romy Gonzalez. Like, this infield is ridiculous overall. I think this might be the first time in I don't know how long where I'm comfortable if somebody goes down for a short amount of time or any amount of time, that we have someone that can replace them easily. and be confident about it. So, Robbie T?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit it right in the head there. I think looking at this team depth-wise, I can't remember a last time where certain guys might not make the roster in years past, and I'm like, damn, that guy should have made it. Like, that you could have that with like a bunch of guys on this team, like Tolley early, Christian Campbell potentially, Mayer. I mean, like, there's a lot of guys that this fan base is going to look at and be like, oh, that guy should be on the team. I can't remember the last time I've seen in years past. You kind of know who the team is and who's starting, who's rotation, and the bullpen. But even looking at, again, like when the WBC is coming up, I think we're going to get a real good look at a lot of these guys that are fringe making the roster or just potential bench pieces. Like, we're going to see a lot of players like make even outfield or Braden Ward. You can see Nate Eaton a lot more. And even what you said, Mikey Romero, like you're going to have a lot more looks at guys that we're probably not going to see maybe a whole lot of during the regular season, but try to earn their keep and make it on the major league roster.
Yeah, who is their outfield once Yoshida, Duran, Sadan, Wilyer, Nate Eaton all go to the WBC?
I mean, you got Christian. I mean, would you rather have Campbell play second base at that point?
You'll just have guys at that point. They'll just fill the roles with giving younger guys harder looks. Like, what if you had a guy in Double-A last year that gets a look and he performs really well. And it's like, oh wow, you just really showcased yourself. Like, we're just going to promote you to Triple-A. Like, that's where you'll start. That's the beautiful thing about spring training is you'll have that.
It could be one of those things where you say Kyson Witherspoon, you had a great spring. Let's start you in Double-A. Just one of those things.
That's probably where he's going to start. Honestly,
I think they're going to give him a month at High A,
and then call him up.
The first month I think High A, and then he's going to be going to Double-A real quick.
His stats going to be looking like high school stats at that point.
Yeah, because I think Nick got a chance to ask him. I think he topped out at 98.6.
He did.
And stuff. So that's pretty dominant pretty early on.
They might not put him in Single-A because
he's going to be one of the I keep saying it. I think keep your eyes peeled on him. If there are injuries on this team, late July, if you need an arm, Tyson Witherspoon might come knocking at that door.
I've been on that train with you since probably before the offseason started. I was like, Tyson Witherspoon's going to be a guy. Like, don't be surprised. Like, if he skyrockets like the prospect depth chart.
Bam. Bradley's popping in here again quick. I remember when we had to rely on John Burkett for 2 seasons. We have 4 guys competing for the 5th spot in the rotation, 5 times better than him.
We are very far removed from Corey Kluber being our opening day starter, guys.
I was there. I was there, and it was
really.
I was. I got tickets. I'm like, this is the first time opening day. I gotta check it off my calendar, and then of course the first batter, literally the first or second batter, Adley Rutschman, goodbye, home run. I was like, yep, this is gonna be a long game.
You're telling me Corey Kluber's not the guy for the Boston Red Sox?
I know. Unbelievable. You would think.
I remember it was supposed to be Sale, wasn't it? And they're like, we're just gonna go ahead and like give him some time,
push him back a little bit.
They didn't want to give the pressure because Sale was coming off an injury season. Good Lord.
Which one?
So was Corey Kluber. Corey Kluber was coming off Tommy John, I think, the year before, something like that, or an injury with the Yankees before. I remember that. But he was a guy that when they signed him, I was like, if this is 2016, this would be like, oh yeah, I'm all over this. 2-time Cy Young Award winner, good stuff. But we're getting like literally Celtics Shaq version of Corey Kluber, and that's exactly what we got. Then I remember everybody was celebrating because he was on the IL, and I was like, all right, the Phantom IL, just throw him on there, clear roster spot.
Yeah. So okay, guys, let's go around some final thoughts to wrap this up. Robbie T, let's start with you.
First thing I'll just say is the ABS system, ABS, very interesting. I know we're wrapping it up, but like these guys got to realize that you're, first inning, 0-1 count, it's a strike. You think it's a ball or vice versa. You're wasting challenges. So like, what are we doing? I don't know, man. I can't wait to see the stats on these guys for their challenges. That's going to be a thing. Like you're going to see Anthony Volpe. There's no way he strikes out that much. He's going to be tapping his head like this all season. But I'm looking forward to some more games. WBC around the corner. I mean, I'm excited to see early tomorrow. That's going to be a good game. Good start to watch from him. But we're feeling pretty good.
Yeah. Rob, what about you, man?
I'm going to say as well with the
I was going to say, and Robbie T, I really think that with the ABS, I think there's going to be like certain players allowed. This is just my opinion, to challenge it. I'm more interested with how often they think they're going to let Narvaez, challenge from behind the plate. That's what I want to see. How often we're going to see Wong or Narvaez back there challenging.
We're going to see a lot of ABS merchants on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say I saw a post speaking about ABS with Willie Adames, and it was like a 1/10 of an inch off the zone, and he got the call because it was off the plate. I'm excited for spring training. I'm excited to see some of these young guys get the opportunity to play. Obviously, with everybody going to the WBC, you're going to see a lot of these guys who you could see on the major league roster and make an impact, especially if you know how baseball is. 162 games. It's a grueling long season. You're going to see injuries. So you might see some guys get some opportunities that you probably will see in maybe even down the stretch in June, July, maybe September call-up. So keep your eyes peeled on some of those guys. Also, shout out to our good friend Cooper Adams. He pitched very well against the Twins yesterday. Got to see a couple of his highlights there. And yeah, I'm excited for spring. I think keep your eyes peeled for, like I said, Nate Eden's going to have a good spring, I think, but keep your eyes peeled on Christian Campbell because that might be a guy you might see on the bench. But yeah, baseball's back. Super excited. I'm super excited for the WBC as well.
Yeah, we are 10 days away from the WBC. We just saw the United States hockey team win gold, so we now can shift over to the elite pitching staff. That is Team USA that can hopefully capture, winning the entire thing. But I'm excited baseball's back. I am prospect watching across the board, like for most of the league, honestly. So I'm doing that right now. So that's the fun part. Doing these team previews for the Substack. It's sort of got to get familiar with everybody, but there's a lot of really good prospects that can really crack a lot of these teams' opening day rosters. So I'm very, very, very excited. Connor Griffin's already gotten high praise from Rob's good friend Bryce Harper. So there is that. There's a lot to look forward to, man. Baseball is back, and I'm just ready for it. I'm ready for all of it. Just let's go. We are almost a month away on the dot from opening day.
Yeah. Little pitching matchup. Conley Early pitches tomorrow against the Rays. Ranger Suarez Tuesday against the Pirates. Oviedo Wednesday against the Twins. And the War Pig Thursday against the Rays. So I'm excited.
So this is there's a lot to watch for this week. Not so much you want to see how good Crochet pitches seem with Suarez, but it's you got Early and Oviedo mixed in there. That's
potential 5.
Those are two guys that are gunning for that number 5 spot. So it's going to be interesting to see, how they pitch and what that looks like.
Yeah. So I can't wait. But guys, this episode is going to drop tomorrow on all major platforms, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Music. Also, right above, Robbie T. Get your merchandise. Other way, Robbie T.
Oh, I was in a little fake out.
BSEN 617.square.site. Check out the merchandise we have there. We do have an entire section dropped just for the women. For the women's apparel, we've got Razorback. What do you want to call them? Razorback tank tops. I don't know. I don't wear them. We got crop tops. We got ladies V-necks. So make sure you check out some of the stuff over there. But guys, baseball is back. We will be back Wednesday night with Matt Duffy. So, but for Rob, for Robbie T, For Tommy and myself, thanks for stopping by the Pesky Podcast.
I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm gonna tell you